The purpose of the mastermind is to learn leadership, build teams, and create multiple sources of income together.
We are here to inspire and challenge each other to reach and exceed goals.
Each member is committed to their own success, as well as the success of every member of the group.
We are committed to meeting in person or virtually for 1 hour every week.
We are present. There is no multitasking or distractions during the meetings.
We are collaborative and we listen without interrupting, lecturing or judging.
We celebrate each other's successes without jealousy.
We are honest and participate by giving thoughtful feedback.
We are open and listen to different perspectives without being defensive or offering excuses.
We trust fellow members enough to share fully.
We are focused, but we also think it's important to have fun during meetings.
We are real and authentic. This is a no BS zone.
We allow ourselves to become completely aligned with each other, which, sorry, I'm missing me, I can't see it. And the high forces, one mind, one soul, one love.
Noble Goldman International is a conscious, aware, and engaged global community of abundance and freedom creators.
Our mission is to create 1 million millionaires who are free from the time for money paradigm. We focus on creating multiple streams of income through masterminding, team building, and the effective utilization of the internet-based platforms.
The mastermind becomes an opportunity for self-mastery, where the self-transcendent shift from the me to the we to the us occurs. As congruence and engagement increases, the world's consciousness is then raised, one meaningful and inspired relationship at a time.
Beautiful. Thank you for setting the foundation. When I saw it come up on that last one, I just imagined Carly sat there going, woohoo, I'm going to get it. The last line, the last paragraph, fantastic. So this week we were up to the law of sacrifice. I'm going to just read for those of us, just out of curiosity, who's done the growth work? Who's gone over the video or the book? Yeah, okay, so that's all good, Julie. So what I'm going to do, Julie, you will go after me. So Fiona will start, and whatever you receive, basically, well, whatever you receive from our shares, you can share for a couple of minutes then as well, because you'll learn more around this. So the law of sacrifice is to give up something that is of lower nature for something of higher nature. For example, in order to enjoy extraordinary success in life, we have to sacrifice our time, put in the effort, and be disciplined to work for what we want to achieve. We have to be persistent and persevere to work on what we want in order to achieve it. So, pretty self-explanatory. I think it's a really good topic that we're talking about, Julie, based on what we started talking about earlier on in the call. So Fiona, if you'd like to fire away.
Okay. Yeah, the law of sacrifice. So for me, I think that giving up something to get something better is really, it's a bit of a no-brainer, but the way the world sees it, it's often that you're crazy to give up certain things or to be in maybe in doing acts of service without getting any immediate return for it. But obviously the way that the law of sacrifice works is that a lot of it's the heart behind what you're doing and the intention for what you want to get back. So when we apply all the other laws that we've learnt about, it's just like a magic formula that we will get back what it is that we need to receive. So, you know, people have often said to me like, oh, you're just being a doormat. And I'm like, well, no, I can only ever be a doormat and allow people to tread on top of me is if I willingly lay myself down and, you know, and I've always seen that giving out is the way to gain, because even if it's not a monetary thing, it's you gain within yourself. So yeah, and consistency is definitely the thing. You can't just go, oh, I'm gonna, you know, sacrifice this now and expect an immediate return. It's like, has to be a way of life that you're always putting others before yourself, and then yeah, in so doing, we'll reap the benefits. So that's me.
Who is next? Is it Mel? Yep.
Yeah, thanks, Fiona. So look at my notes. One thing that really hammered home to me when I watched this and did a bit of reading, and I thought it was interesting, is we thought it was losing something we valued, and the average person never made the sacrifices. And Bob talks about giving up something of lower nature to receive something of higher nature. And the thing that really resonated with me, which may resonate, actually probably resonate with a lot of people here, is the expat life. So, you know, you sacrifice giving up time with your family and giving up time with your friends, and for us moving across to the other side of the world. And we don't have children, but I know a lot of people that have sacrificed their life in the UK for their children to have, sorry, Martin, their children to have a much, much better life in Australia. And I know for us, even without children, the life we lead on a daily basis is just so much more abundant. And I'm not talking financially in any way, abundant in so many other ways than we could ever get living in the UK. And we've sacrificed so much to have this lifestyle. And I see so many other expats that have sacrificed that as well. And it's not always easy, but it's really worth it. And yeah, we live an incredible lifestyle that couldn't even dream of. You know, I was running along the beach at 5:30 this morning, and I'm just thinking, it's December, like in the UK. Couldn't even imagine doing this. Couldn't even imagine doing this like in the summer in the UK. So we've sacrificed so much to have this lifestyle that we really relish on a day-to-day basis. And you know, like it's all little things as well. Like you sacrifice sometimes giving up food that you sometimes like because you want a fitter body, a healthier body, you want to lose weight. Athletes sacrifice going out with their mates so they can get up early and train. And I'm far from like any athlete, but there's been times where I've sacrificed going out for an evening or doing things like that because I'm training for like an event or a marathon or stuff like that. But the end goal is always worth it, depending on what your values are. So yeah, personally for me, this hit home a lot, and it really resonated with me, and it has a big impact on me. So thanks, guys.
Thanks, Melanie. I was listening to you and I was thinking how that, like Bob Proctor's talking about discipline, and I was thinking that whole thing you were sharing was about your self-discipline. And so you were just giving the exact example of what the law of sacrifice is. And it's like this self-discipline so that you aren't really sacrificing anything because you're going to a higher level in that discipline. And so you're actually gaining more. And with me and my sacrifice, it's been around helping others. I've always put myself second. Even as a child, my mum used to call me an angel because I always, even as a little child, I knew she needed help and I was always trying to help her. Obviously, it never worked because it was my mum's problem that she needed to solve herself. But I always sacrificed myself. So when I had my own children, I sacrificed myself because I had twins. You could say it was time management, But it wasn't that. It was because I was so used to sacrificing my time for everyone else's time, like giving it away for everyone else to be healed, and to help them, and ended up not even having time for my own nourishment and my own exercise or anything. Because when they got to about 3 years of age, running in different directions, I then was too busy thinking, I can't send them out to be babysat. I need to. Jessie had a lot of health issues, seizures from 3 onwards, and now she's got brain tumours. So I've always sacrificed for her health over my own, which isn't the way to do it, obviously, because if I don't discipline myself and get myself healthy, even with my exercise, my mental state, my emotional state, everything is a discipline. It doesn't have to be if I've already resolved all that, but if I've had many years of not putting myself first, the discipline has to come back and put myself first in every choice I make, even with regards to Jessie's health, because I can't help her unless I'm coming from a full cup. Even though I'm trying to help her, I will never be able to help her unless my cup is filled with unconditional love in the discipline. And that is my sacrifice, and I am putting myself first. Because if I don't put myself first and be the important one in the room because of love for self, because that's how important it is, she will never heal herself. She doesn't know how to. I'm teaching her all the bad habits of how to sacrifice and help others first. So she'll never help herself first. I'm not blaming myself. I'm just stating I am a mirror and a role model to anyone around me. And if I stand in my power and put myself first and fill my own cup up first, and in that it includes discipline and boundaries and anything that gives me a sacrifice to love myself first, it will bring miracles and mountains moved for anyone around me, because they can have that as a mirror and choose then a new choice, or they can be entrained by that, because when I'm coming from a full cup of love, it diffuses fears, it diffuses everything. So any fears in my child from her mirroring me or my family lineage, she can have a choice point when she sees me stand in my power, and it's nothing to do with me, it's her choice. When I stand in love, I stand for love for all people.
Beautiful. Thanks, Carly. Amazing. Ricky.
Yeah, thanks, Carly, and thanks everyone else for their contribution there as well. Yeah, this was an interesting one, Martin, because as you know, when it comes to Noble Goldman and the masterminding and everything that goes with it, for the last few months I've been AWOL, and as in absent without leave. And it's only been because I got sidetracked because of the new venture that you know about and a few people know about, and I just got so tunnel visioned on that that one venture, and I'm having degrees of success in it, and that's great. But what happens there is that you lose your discipline in like a whole bunch of other areas. So we're never going to be perfect, right? Nobody's ever going to be perfect, and it comes back to the outwitting the devil with the whole drifting thing. We all drift, right? No matter what, we all drift. No matter whether we think we do or we don't, we drift. And there's so many aspects of our life that we drift in and we drift out and we drift in. And sometimes we drift out, we never drift back in again. And sometimes we drift in and we stay there, and that's great. But I think I've realised, even before coming on today's call, that in the last 6 or 7 months, I've got so tunnel vision on this one project that I've let a whole bunch of things go, including, you know, my eating's not as good as it should be. Probably consuming a bit more alcohol than I should. Probably a bit more coffee than I should. Probably a bit more carbs than I should. Probably, I know I'm going to the gym and not applying myself as well as I could or should. Probably not as attentive at home and in the relationships as I should be. A whole ream of areas. And again, just watching that this morning, and I made a disciplined decision, really, when I saw your message this morning, because I knew I had to get back on track, right, across a whole ream of areas. Now, it ain't going to all happen today just because I was 60 yesterday. That's not what it's about. But you know within yourself that you're off the ball in so many areas, and you either continue down that path, and you're letting all these other things go a bit, and they're probably going to get worse before they get better, or you put the brakes on a wee bit and you pull yourself back. You say, no, give yourself a good boot up the arse and start getting the discipline back again and making the sacrifices. Like, for example, I got up this morning and I'm sitting right in front of the ocean. I'll show you right now, not to show off or anything, but there's the ocean, right, at Quins. So, and it's absolutely stunningly beautiful. So I thought, right, bugger it. I'm going to, part of my disciplines is I want to get swimming every day, even if it's just for 5 minutes, especially when it's looking like it is, right? But it's so easy to not do that. You know, it's so easy to say, the hell, I'll jump on Martin's call, just do it from the house, or I'll go and faff about, or I'll catch up on the news, or I'll do this, or I'll do that. And we all do it, right? We all say, no, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that. And we just let ourselves, because we've lost control of that discipline. And then you think, well, why did I decide to go for a swim in the first place? Well, because it makes me feel so good. It's so refreshing. The water is absolutely stunning. And Sharon said there was a shark spotted off Queen's Beach the other day, but I still went and did it yesterday. I've done it again today, but who gives a monkeys, you know? But it's having the discipline to do these things and being willing to make the sacrifices, like your eating, for example, right? I know that I put on a few pounds myself the last few months, and I'm not happy about it. And I know I've got to make sacrifices to lose the pounds again. I know that, and I want to do it, not to impress anybody else, but just for my own self-satisfaction, Martin, you know. And I know that when I get to the gym, and I still go to the gym, it's not that I'm not going, but I know that when I'm going, my head's half there and half somewhere else, right? I'm not like a lot of folks in the gym looking at my phone and stuff, although I do glance up at the TV now and again. But if you're going to the bloody gym, then bloody work, you know, whether it's half an hour, 40 minutes, it doesn't matter what it is, go there and do the best you can. It might be in prospecting, it might be in building your business. Yeah, I'm going to prospect 2 people a day, and then you say, well, I didn't need to because the team's building anyway, blah, blah, blah. Why do I need to prospect? Well, that's the wrong attitude, of course, because we all know that a team could soon come to a grinding halt for whatever reason. If you stop prospecting, then you've got major problems. So I think really in a nutshell, Martin, it was so relevant that was the law of sacrifice, because I couldn't get access to the bloody videos I messaged you this morning because I didn't know how, because not long since it's been in there. But I found it on YouTube, so I made a bit of a disciplined decision and sacrificed being lazy to go and look for it, and I found it, and I watched it in the car, and then not only did I watch it, Martin, but I've set up a new pad, Noble Goldman Mastermind pad, and I took a page of notes, right, so I knew what the hell I was going to be talking about rather than just fluffing it. But it was so relevant, the content of that video, in so many aspects of life. And sorry to dwell on, but I'll say another one because it's quite relevant. But it's in relationships as well. Like, you know, me and Sharon have been together forever, right? But there's a lot of selfishness in certain people's relationships. Just listen to Callie saying there that, you know, she's got to look out for herself before she could look out for anybody else. And that's so true, but it can go the opposite way. And I've probably been quite a selfish person for most of my life, if not all of my life. And again, I need to start thinking deep down inside about sacrifices that I need to make in the things that I do, because I've got a lot of freedom in my life, but the things that I do that will make these sacrifices for the benefit of other people. Sharon, Jordan, Cheryl, the kids, whatever. So you might need to sort of bite your tongue a wee bit, and say, right, no, I've got to make this sacrifice because it's not all about me. Or going back to what Callie said, she said, you know, she's got to focus more on herself. Well, that's true, but again, that can get out of balance, you know. It's trying to find that balance, and that's, again, sorry if I'm meandering here, but it's finding that balance across a whole realm of things, your family, what you do in your life, your exercise, your diet. We probably never find the true balance, but the search has to go on to find a better balance across all the different areas in our life than we currently have. And I know that for the last 6 months or so, and probably before that, but certainly the last 6 months or so, it's been out of whack. And I need to sort of pull myself back. I know I'm doing wrong. I know I'm not doing what I should be doing. And just getting back involved in the calls again, Matt, and getting a better understanding again of what's going on at Noble Goldman, participating and doing my bloody homework, getting on your mastermind, getting on Ross's, being disciplined to be on Declan's, and participating and a whole ream of other things as well. So sorry, I probably took up everybody else's time. Sorry.
Not at all, mate. Thanks for sharing. I think you saw an opportunity to make up for all the other calls you've missed and put it all into one. So that's all good. No, fantastic share. I kind of feel there's nothing for me to bloody cover now, but now there's been so much value that's come, and like you say, Ricky, the way the call started with Julie and I talking, there's everything is divine timing. Nothing, we can't turn around and say, oh, that's so random. It's not random, it's perfect in what it needs to be. So, you know, you choosing to show up today, the law of sacrifice, you know, and I was on my back office before, and could be, for those of you who don't know, Ricky sponsored me into Noble Goldman, and Ricky's mission is to create $1 million income every year and help at least 10 other people achieve the same. So Ricky's been very focused and driven in his business and focusing on generating that income and helping other people. So it's and I was triggered by the way that, not necessarily Ricky per se, but certainly the way like the some things were going on in that company, in that model, in that business, because people were driving forward. Now, and the reason why I was triggered was because it's not my mission. It's not aligned. It's not like necessarily my highest values. So when you're able to log in, and I saw that from Ricky today in particular, I was like, wow, there you go. There's somebody who had stated the mission and was striving in that particular area, but like Ricky said, at the cost in other areas. And when we slow down, we then start to see things around us that are also missing out, because there has to be, for every action, there has to be a reaction, as we know. So, and that's, you know, we just had a great call before around the fear of poverty. And for me, with regards to this area, even though I'm going to start going number one, so no one can take anything that I'm going to say. Well, for me in particular, what's been really interesting is that we have literally in our living area, we have a load of stuff that we're just putting out for sale. And so this is like letting it go for the new to come in. And you know what, I said that I was going to share in my head this with you all, and you know how cheeky I am. So this morning, last week, Beth said, hey, I'm ordering some bamboo underwear. Do you want some? And I'm like, I don't need underwear. And she's like, yes, you do. Your underwear has holes in it. We can see through. And I'm like, it's supposed to have holes in it. Like, that's what it's designed for. So my legs can get in, my body can get in, and you know what else can get out. So and she said, but you need underwear. So anyway, this morning I get up and I'm going to the toilet, and she went, I can see your bum through your bloody jocks, the fabrics that one. And I'm like, these jocks have been with me for a long time. They're kind of part of me. And she's like, it's time for them to go. so it's that thing of letting go of the old for the new to come in. It's obviously a bit of banter, a bit of fun. Seeing all the
Sounds
things,
like your underpants are going to let go of themselves, Martin, the way you're
well,
going, mate.
they're pretty much there, mate. Yeah, they're pretty much there. So we've got all this stuff anyway that we're getting rid of and putting up on Facebook Marketplace and Gumtree or whatever, and it's really empowering to be able to pass that on to other people. Some of it we're giving away for free. Some of it is basically price. Like the price is so low. But it's great to be able to pass that on. But I'm also doing that from the space of, as you all know, we're moving into a caravan. The caravan coming into our lives is making the space for this great adventure to take place. So, what have you said there? Don't pass on your underwear. No, I won't pass on my underwear, Carly. I did actually say that to Beth. I said, can I put this in the bins at the supermarket? She's like, no, they don't want your grotty underpants. And I'm like, if they're washed, they'll be fine. Beggars can't be choosers, to be fair. But yeah, so it was really like, that was what was coming up for me, realizing that I have to let go of stuff. And something recently came up with regards to one of my businesses, which I looked at and had a conversation around, and Beth can often be in a space of fear and trying to evaluate everything, whereas I'm just like, right, that's done, let's go and move forward. So she's trying to process a lot of the things we're at a space right now where we've got to have a look at a few things and see, do we need to recreate something new, move forward? But I'm excited about whatever's to happen because it's happening for a reason, and it actually feels really aligned. It feels it's the right space and the right time, especially with what we've been working on behind the scenes for so long. But so when you're dealing with somebody, and dealing is probably the wrong word because we're obviously together, but when you're in that space where someone thinks differently to the way you do, it's interesting, the conversations and the thought patterns and the processing that they're going through and I'm going through, or we're going through together as a couple and as business partners to help us move forward and respecting that. And that's been that in itself, which goes to the law, back to the law of sacrifice. Beth, when I met my ex, who I'm very close and good friends with, and my ex Lauren messaged me afterwards and she said, wow, Beth's energy is really calming and she's really nice to be around. I can see why she's a good fit for you. And I had never seen that until she messaged me. And I realized that because I'm so out there and I'm going and going and going, Beth helps me get grounded and slow me down. But I didn't see that until someone said it to me. And now, and since then, I've started to appreciate Beth more for who she is, rather than like me going, come on, let's go. Because in many cases, that's not her nature. So yeah, that's where I'm going. So just got the messages there. Yeah, so Julie, what about yourself? What's coming up for you in regards to the law of sacrifice? Anything coming up that you've thought about?
Absolutely, and I didn't even know it was the law of sacrifice this week, so I've missed doing any of the readings. But the actual sacrifices come up very strongly for me because I'm back in New Zealand, and I'm half in New Zealand and half in Amsterdam, and since I've been here, all my energy's gone into my son. He has a sick wife, and this baby's come along out of the blue. She has Huntington's, so it's a progressive. So there's this worry about, what's going to happen to the child as the years go on, and what may happen. So, and all the time I've been here, I've been kind of living with them and helping them and doing this, and I actually had put myself way back on the back burner. Just that's why I related to what you said, Carly. You just put yourself out there on the back burner, and I didn't matter anymore. And I started to see that instead of getting gratitude or respect, I was playing the sacrificial lamb, do you know what I mean? And I didn't matter. And then in turn, feeling a bit resentful and put upon when respect wasn't coming back at me, because was I respecting myself? So, and also to the fact that I was so busy looking for things for them, I wasn't actually thinking about what I was going to do, you know, and, you know, they've got a lot more years ahead of them than I have. So, and especially when it came around to finding property and somewhere to live, and I thought it was all about them, and I should give what little money I've got to them so that they can get into a place. And I thought, and wonderful friends said, hang on a minute here. I wasn't even aware that I was sort of in this space, but said, hang on a minute, you know, there's plenty of time for him. I'm more worried about what are you doing, you know, and what are you going to hear? Are you going to be over there? Are you going to be here? So, you know, I needed to start looking at a base for myself here. Perhaps I should get a caravan too. But, you know, so that was all about, you know, the sacrifice was actually, it wasn't truly a sacrifice. And I think in a way, sometimes we do that to avoid looking after ourselves through what I'm wondering, whether it was a deservedness or whether it was, you know, I don't matter, I don't count. So yeah, it was a big lesson. And I thought, oh my goodness, maybe I can start looking for myself, because if I'm not looking after myself and happy, what use am I going to be anyhow, you know, to helping? It's not a good role model, and it's time to start thinking about you, you know, and when you're living with other people and all the time, you can easily get lost in their needs and forget your own. So it is important to look after those needs so that you can go ahead. It's almost it sounds like the opposite to sacrifice, but in fact, it's not, is it? You know, you have to respect both, and if you want to be of good, you need to let go of all those negative emotions and put the energy into doing something that's meaningful, because that's the sacrifice, I guess. And it's not much of a sacrifice to let go of the rotten bits, is it? So, and the discipline also, I think that's the same thing. If you get up and you start disciplining yourself to do what you need to be doing instead of making excuses for it all the time, and finding things to do that you are not so important, you know, that sacrifice. And I like the fact that that's a sacrifice for something better that's going to come along, more useful and more meaningful and more deep and more in line with what your sole purpose is. So it's not quite the same as you, but I think also in my generation particularly, the parents and things were always sacrificing. There was this sacrifice sort of that anything for yourself was selfish, you know, that you must sacrifice everything for your family or whatever. So there's that old-fashioned sort of like slave, you know, I don't deserve to have anything and I don't deserve to do anything. I must give it away because, and in a way we all know that giving is far more satisfying than receiving more, you know, but it's a tricky because it's around, it's a, you know, what's the word? It's the flip side, isn't it, of sacrifice. Am I making any sense? No.
Absolutely, yeah, you are, Julie, and I know Ricky wants to touch on a few things that you brought up.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind, Julie. Julie, what you've said is bang on, right? And obviously with your son and daughter-in-law and the little one coming on the scene who, by the sounds of it, is going to have maybe health challenges. It's so important that you do put yourself first and look after you, because without you, you're of absolutely no value to them. you know? I mean, I'm a granddad as well, and 60 yesterday, 2 young grandkids, and obviously 2 kids and a wife and the blah, blah, blahs. But you are the number one person. You are the most important person. You have to look after you, be fighting fit, be mentally strong, because they need you to be that way. They need you to be that way. And if you, for whatever reason, fold, collapse, you're not here, something happens to you, then where does that leave them? You know, they need you. You might not. You might not necessarily think they need you the way that they do, but they need you. And just in the way that, I mean, my grandfather died when I was 10, and he was 60, funny enough, so I've reached the age he was. But boy, oh boy, do I wish my grandfather had been around for another 10, 20, 30 years, you know, because what impact would that have had on my life in so many different ways? But clearly you've got a lot to look after there. You've got some really, really important people in your son, your daughter-in-law, and the new grandchild, and that's going to be, you're going to be busy. But you need to make sure that, again, it's coming back to that balance thing. The sacrifices, it's in balance. You've got to look after you first and foremost, mentally, physically, and in every other way, financially, so that in all these different areas you can look after them as and when they need you to look after them, because they will need your support. There is no doubts about it. They can't. No family on the planet can manage on their own. I know my daughter's here in Perth with her husband and 2 kids, and they've been here 4 years just as we have. But they would never have coped. I don't think they would ever have coped. They're doing okay, but they would never have coped without dad and mum being here, you know, as that parental support and grandmum and granddad support and all the rest of it. So it's again, I saw a couple of posts here, it is about that self-worth. You need to put yourself up on a pedestal. You need to make sure, and I'm not going to ask your age, but you're probably the similar age group as me, but you know, we need to look after ourselves, be fighting fit, be strong, be mentally strong, be disciplined, as we've been talking about, and be there for them as and when they need us to be there for them. Not overpowering, not too much, because sometimes it can be that way. We're all over them. It's finding that balance, Julie, you know.
The interesting thing that's kind of happened, and this was just a few days ago, and I had been just running myself a bit low on energy and finance too, because of course I haven't got much money, and that's one of the reasons I need to be earning some more. And of course I'm the only parent that's kind of active in helping them. What happened was that there was a lot of disrespect coming from my son towards me, and anger, and you know, and really quite, you know, at times verbally abusive. And I thought, what is this all about, you know? And funnily enough, when I started to look at this different angle that my friends had said, hey, what is it that you're going to do? And then we had a meeting and this was spoken. The change in the behavior of my son was just phenomenal, and it was almost instant. It was as if he'd been released of any burden. So, and his creative side was coming through, and it was. And I thought, well, it's because I'm pulling away and saying, no, I'm going to look after me first, and the opposite behavior came from him. So that was really, really mind blowing for me to see that happen at such a speed. Right, and indeed the respect was there, and indeed there was the need and appreciation that I was there to, you know, to help out as well. So
yeah, because often, Julie, we're taken for granted, aren't we?
Yeah,
And we take other people for granted, and of course, when the things that they do for us are taken away in a split second, then that's when they become appreciated, you know. And me and my wife have been together for 43 years. Not married 43, but together 43 since we were 16, and I know how much she does for me. And I quite honestly, Julie, just like what you said, I know I don't appreciate my wife as much as I should. I know that, and again, it's coming back to that sacrifice of, I need to sacrifice that selfish attitude that I've got, because that will make her feel different and feel better and feel that her own self-worth for what she does for not just me, but for the whole family, you know. And what, by the sense of it, what you've just said there, is you stepped back and then your son said, oh, wow, wait a minute. Christ, we need mum. We value mum. Especially when mum's taking away potentially what she's bringing to us and helping us
I
with.
think you're right, but I also think that what he saw in me was a bit more strength and not to be such a sacrificial lamb, you know, stop playing the martyr act, you know, show some guts. So, you know, that was, I think, also part of it, you know, because with me doing that all the time, it made him feel also like he was taking advantage and guilty. So we're complex creatures, aren't we?
Mm. Julie, do you think too, though, perhaps he was seeing that you were going to become a burden to him? Because as you're going to age, so the fact that you are going to take more responsibility for you, then that allows him the space to step up and be the person, the leader sort of thing. Because I think ego comes into it a lot. You know, for me, definitely, I like being the martyr. I love playing that, you know, sort of thing. And sometimes, so then I might need to actually sacrifice, you know, feeling good about myself being the martyr and actually, you know, let other people take the responsibility that is rightfully theirs, you know, that we're actually robbing other people by being so capable or so dependable or whatever, you know.
That's dead right.
It's good to just go AWOL once in a while and give them a bit of a shock, I think.
Yeah, well, I didn't even do that, but that was the consequence. I have done that several times during the last few months anyway, for sanity's sake. But it is interesting, isn't it? It is interesting that, you know, one movement and behaviour and in a positive way has this sort of roll-on effect. And yes, you know, at that rate, I would have been a burden to him. Carrying on like that. So a very good point.
Yeah, some really powerful shares and points there. So thank you all. I mean, naturally, the thing comes down to let's act on what we're receiving here from each other today, rather than just leaving this call and going, okay, that was fantastic, and doing nothing about it. Where can we make those choices? Where can we, in particular, schedule it into our diary and make sure it's a non-negotiable? I think even Melanie, you may have touched on this a couple of weeks ago. You know, what I've started, I literally got to a point where I would block out my calendar and say, this is my time. This is for me. And I remember a friend of mine who I met her through business, and we became friends. And she actually had a time each week that was the time she spent with her 3 daughters. And somebody wanted to book in a call with her or a meeting with her or something then. And she said, no, but I can't, I've already got an appointment. And the person said, well, what's your appointment about? She said, oh, it's time with my children. And she went, and the person said, that's not an appointment. You should be able to fit me in. And he said, if I choose to dishonor myself, I am letting myself down and my children down. If you do not value that I put myself first and my family first, you are not the kind of person that I want to be working with. So there was a lesson there for that person, and she chose to show up in that space. So, and I think one of the reasons why I was pushed to do so, and it was because of my own action, I created my calendar online where people can book in strategy calls or whatever they want. So therefore, if I wanted time for myself, I had to get that booked in my calendar pretty bloody quickly. Because if I didn't, other people would book up the time for them. And all of a sudden I'd get to the end of the day and go, what about me? And wonder why I'm burning out and then not being of service to them. So I know that Melanie, you had asked around, show me your diary and I'll tell you your values. Absolutely, that's a really powerful point from Melanie there. So Melanie said, is anyone running a 30-day quest in January? Right, for those of us, I know Ricky, you've been out of it a bit, whether you know about it or not, and Julie, you're in and out whilst things are going on around you. At the moment, the 30-day quest is in what we call beta testing. So we're just going through, finding out how it's working. But as of the 1st of January, there'll be more people, I feel, stepping into it. I haven't put any time or energy into the 30-day quest. I've paid for it and I've got it, but I haven't created one, or I will be doing one in the new year. But right now, there's just a lot of stuff that I'm putting more attention to. But anybody can do it. Anybody can create a 30-day quest. It's a great opportunity to share your value and put it in there so that anybody can jump on that, whatever you're passionate about, adding it in there. I'm going to do a 30-day quest, for instance, around water. So not promoting Enagic, actually around the importance and of water, and basically a 30-day quest around that. And that's also going to go in for those of you, well, you're all in Enagic. When Enagic eventually gets on Noble Goldman, then that will be part of like a training for people if they wish to go through it. So it's just, there's so many different, like Melanie, I know that you know lots around nutrition, health, and so on. You can create a 30-day mastermind or quest around that to help people. Whatever it's going to be, it's designed there. There's going to be certain ones in particular. When you look at Noble Goldman as a whole, and Melanie, you were on the call, well, to look at it as in, it's a, excuse me, well, to look at it as in the whole of Noble Goldman is to bring like-minded people together, a true, powerful community. And the way that we turn it into a financial asset. So in my opinion, and this is how I see it, Noble Goldman in its core, as in what's the value in Noble Goldman, it's an asset for my personal growth, my ability to connect with like-minded people, my ability to receive value and give value. So all that is on me becoming a better person, able to deal with the game of life and win at the game of life. That's what it's about. When we look at the MSIs that, and I'm not including Noble Goldman as the affiliate model, the MSIs are completely separate. They're either people who are coaches that have plugged their value into a Noble Goldman as an MSI. They're MLM companies, direct sales companies, affiliate models, but you're not paid from Noble Goldman for them. So they're like the garage that isn't attached to the house, if that makes sense. So in the house is where we all are. Now, to be able to leverage all of those MSIs, we need a team. You know, Ricky was saying about it before, all the time and effort building a team, and it could literally go overnight. And some of us have seen that based on the communities that we're around. So the focus is to be getting around all the like-minded people and building that. And the money will come as a byproduct of the value in the community, and people coming in and going, hey, my values in this example, my values are health. So those people would probably look for an MSI or multiple MSIs in the health section. If the highest value is money, they're going to be looking at an MSI that helps them generate money, whether that would be investing, trading, or even an MLM or an affiliate model. If their values the personal growth, they're going to be looking for, does this make sense? You don't need to go through the whole bloody list, but that's the angle is whatever it is based on people's values, they can find anything and everything in Noble Goldman. So even people who are health coaches, I'm like, your community's here because everybody's health is important. And the more that we're diving deeper into our own self-mastery, health is an important part of that, because you can't think clearer when you're drinking Coca-Cola and eating McDonald's every day. You just can't. You have to be nourishing your body more effectively to be able to think clearer and to be able to act clearer and to be able to have the energy to perform each day. So there's so many people that we can bring in here in regards to the 30 days. My view of the way that I'll be going as well is helping each of us step up to gain the skills and the confidence to communicate with people externally, to be able to plug them in, to help create the round table of 12. You know, that's our goal. We only need 12 people. And if we're teaching them to find their 12 people, the whole model is duplicating. And the MSIs will be activated when they're ready. But the whole focus is we can still create a very, very powerful income just from that duplication. We just got to take the time to see that. Now, it doesn't matter where you're at. If you need money, your focus is going to be, I need money. Look at where you can get it. But as Ricky stated, be careful that you don't go and get that money and that's your only focus. And then you look and go, oh, crikey, my wife's just left me. Not manifesting that, Ricky, but my partner's just left me. It's always going to be at the cost of something. And you tend to find most relationships, it's because of a lack of communication, a lack of connection, a lack of understanding, a lack of awareness. That's why it's important to be looking at, when you set out your diary, like Melanie said, what are your values? Because if you're not living by your values, you're living by somebody else's, and therefore you're being dragged in a direction you don't want to go. And it's not a very good way to live, because I know what that was like. Ricky, you mentioned, can you cover the basics of the 30-day quest? To be fair, the stuff is in NG. I don't know if you've looked at it yet. I'm just going to bring it up. Whilst I'm here, Ricky made a point this morning. So when he went to level 4, he came down here to the Forgotten Laws and pressed play, and nothing happened. And the reason for that was the videos update up here. So if I click on play here, it changes the video in this bit. So it's not when you press play, if the fold or the screen, you can't see the video. When I press play, you have to then scroll back up. So I'm going to, I'm making notes as I go through the site on things that can be improved. And one of the things I'm going to say to Mark is when we click, let's say right down here, 6 human needs, that it automatically pulls us up here to the actual video. So did that one even work? So there you go. So it changes, but if it's over the fold and you can't see it, you're on your phone, you're never going to know unless you scroll up.
Yeah, that was my problem, because I'm not computer savvy originally. I'm getting there. And when I click on it, I'm used to it coming out straight away on the screen. Yeah. And then I remember saying to you, I can't find these videos, they're not opening. And then after that, I realized it was I had to scroll back up because my computer only gave me the clicked button section and not the video.
Yeah.
Took me a little while to realize that.
And when you look at it, the idea would be people are just clicking next step and going through them one by one, but we jump to the Forgotten Laws. But if we go down to the scorecard, so if you press on these 3 bars, it actually tells you the name of them. So if we click on the abundance game and then go down to quest, that's actually going to give us the introduction as to what the 30-day quest is. So Mark's put this together, and in a way, if you look at this, Ricky, here, 30-day success journey. So it's basically an improved version of the 90-day success program. The flight logs are improved. There's certain things there. There's the checklist, as we know. There's training videos. So each day there's a video on that topic of around about 2 minutes or 3 minutes, just a short video it's supposed to be. Each week there's a live mastermind. So they've created 5 there. Accountability agreements, so obviously finding your accountability buddy, working out your definiteness of purpose sheet, making sure you're in the Facebook group, and then there's some little award certification there. Now for Gold Star members, so the 30-day program, so everyone's aware, anybody can access this. Free members and Gold Star members, it pays back 75% commissions over 3 tiers: 50 over tier 1, 15 over tier 2, and 10 over tier 3. So it's not big money, but it's something. And for now, we're just testing it. So anyone can create their own mastermind over those 30 days. They just need to pick out the topic and obviously facilitate it. So this is what's currently in place that's already been created by Lloyd and Mark in particular. Week 2, habits and behaviors. Week 3, the hero's journey. Week 4, financial freedom. When you look at this, and week 5, consciousness and emotional intelligence, when you look at all of that area, look at the way that they're shifting people through to see how Noble Goldman works. That's actually the whole steps. We're talking around helping people shift through all of it, from the me to the we to the us. So the mastermind that's running there from Lloyd and Mark, and it's all labeled out. So as you can see, the first day, the video is going to be understanding the importance of definiteness of purpose. Second day, attitude and gratitude. So if you wanted to make your own 30-day quest, you would have a series of videos that you create. So there's a topic, for instance, you know, I could follow all of that structure and do my own if I wanted to, but there's not, I mean, although people will vibrate to different people, there's not really much point, in my opinion, me doing it, but I could do it. I could run it if I wish to. So if somebody said to me, can you do a 2-minute video on attitude of gratitude? I could, because I'm comfortable creating videos for pretty much all of them. But if I don't know something, then I'd go and learn about it, or I'd watch this and go, okay, that's what they mean, and create my own. So the reason why I'm going through this is if you want to create your own, you're just going to create a couple of minute videos for people to just tap in and get and receive a message. And then week 1, there's going to be, in this example, a mastermind around 30 days to launch your own mastermind. Week 2, habits and behaviors mastermind. So that's basically what it's been created for. And the reason for that was simply to help engage all members, to help, but only the free members can't earn an affiliate commission, only Gold Star members. So that's really important to be aware of. Are there any questions around that? No? I'm just checking the...
Martin, how's it paid for, mate? How do you pay the $30?
So you basically go, if you come back here, Ricky, and go to Quest,
Mm-hmm.
and then when you're there, it will come to the introduction page and it will say subscribe or pay now or something. So because I've paid, it already says activated. And then you'll have access to all the other bits like joining the group and the instructions and so on. So it's,
You can use your wallet as well, Martin, can't you?
yeah, so when this is one of the things that Mark brought in, especially for us. So Mark, I said to Mark, you know, for us guys outside of the US, we get charged in many cases international fees. So we've got to change that. So basically when you go to pay, even for your annual membership, you can change from your credit card or debit card to come out of your wallet, which means when you introduce members to Noble Goldman and they pay the $100, $200 Gold Star membership or any of these paid affiliate models in NG, your commissions are in your wallet. So everything within Noble Goldman from myself, I bought this program through my wallet. I renewed my membership through my wallet. And if you want to pay for anybody as well, then you can do so. If you've got the money in your wallet, you can do so. Like for instance, Beth joined and I'm like, well, there's no point is using a credit card, just take another $200 out my membership, out my wallet. Yeah, so as you can see, it's in the free section. So the free section wouldn't give you these two. It would just be showing the MSIs, the sphere icon for the masterminds. So when anybody joins, they can come down and join the quest. So one of the ways that we'll be marketing this is to everybody. If you want to be, you know, involved in a 30-day quest around 30 days to success, come and join it. It's $30 a day. You're going to receive all of this value, and this will be, I think Mark has or is linking this as its own landing page that's already connected to your account. So if you posted the link, people can come and join, and they can they're automatically in your Noble Goldman team, and you're going to get a commission. So all good. See you, Carly. All the best, darling. Yeah, so is there any other questions around that, or anything anybody wants to know? Mark's just looking at ways that he can add more value in the community, as well as at the same time create another stream of income. So, you know, it's all around helping people receive value in all ways. So I need to, yeah, I've got lots of pictures to take and stuff to put up online for sale. So, yeah, that's all good. So if the thing to take away from this is we've been covering the law of sacrifice. Have a look in the areas. There's always going to be something that has to leave. There's going to be something that has to go. So look at, what am I going, if I let go of this, what am I going to bring into gain? And often we don't put a value on our own personal growth. You know, like the way we react or we respond to people. In your situation, Julie, in that household, around your family, maybe your role is to help you grow and become better and fill your own cup, so that overflow is helping them get through the times where they're at right now. Like that's your role. That's why you're in Noble Goldman. Maybe it's not to build the businesses. Maybe your role is to just fill your own cup and be surrounded by these people. I know that I've not focused on Noble Goldman as an income business for me. I focused on my own personal growth. And I've received that in abundance, more so than anything I've ever done. But I was ready for it, and I've showed up.
I think for me that the whole worry of you know, not having enough money has been somewhat overwhelming, and I had to retire from I didn't have to, but you know, the retirement came up, and you know, I felt like I didn't have any choices, so I'm still sort of backpedaling a bit, and I think I just need to stop backpedaling and stop being so obsessed with the fact that that, you know, I need to earn some more money, and just get on and developing myself. I think the money will then flow. You know, I've got into just about every kind of instant thing you could try and get into to earn money. It hasn't worked. It hasn't worked because, yeah, I don't think the base is hard yet, and I need to be doing what I need to be doing. And I still have an awful lot left to offer in the way of learning. And I've been working with kids and teenagers for years, and there's still a lot left of being able to contribute there. So that's part of it. But, you know, first of all, get on with this and get through the program. And I just, on that light, I think you've also got my entrance through the website is the way to start, right? Not through anything else, because I noticed you've got this new Facebook thing, and it's got links to do this, that, and the next thing. But really, I just go through the website, don't I? And plow through it. I need an accountability partner. I haven't had a phone call, all that sort of thing. I just need to go through the steps.
Yeah. Right. I mean, you've got a free call with myself anyway, so just go and book that in, and we'll go through it, and then it's there. And
I have to say, you know, keeping a diary and everything else has gone way out of the, you know, all these things that you need to do, I'm not doing. Yeah.
Okay.
You're not alone, Julie. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. You can only know what to do based on when you know what not to do. So now's the time to take the action instead. You know, and this is for all of us. Let's not keep saying the same story over and over again.
No.
Let's make the changes.
Boring. Yeah.
So go and enjoy yourselves and have a wonderful day. Ricky, go to the loo, mate. And we will speak for those of you available tomorrow. Otherwise, I'll speak. I'm doing the calls next week as well. So, yeah, don't worry about that. I even know we're coming into Christmas. I'll keep going right the way through. So
tomorrow is, sorry.
Tomorrow evening at 5:30 p.m. Perth time, and is the public call, and then 7 p.m. Perth time is the Gold Star call. There's probably you guys will all be in bed.
Yeah, I was just going to say that's midnight and afterwards. So, yeah, it's only on at those 2 times.
Doing my best to accommodate everyone. So we have Wednesday in the morning, my time, and then Thursday evening in the evening. So as you bring people in from different areas around the world, they can get on whichever they suits them. Yeah.
So this is our time.
If this one suits you, that's the one.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Oh, good.
So some people do both.
Absolutely. Yeah. Carly's a gun. She's on all of them.
Great.
Anyway, go and enjoy yourselves, ladies. Take care. Thank you for your incredible shares, and I'll speak to you all soon.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Bye.